have you heard of blockchain? And you're like, oh man, this shit's the future. Well, there's different projects that come out that all have different potential. And my buddy Scott has gone through, and he is all in, or has the biggest proportion of his portfolio in one area. And we're going to talk about that. It's Pulsechain. So Scott, what's going on, brother? I appreciate you taking the time to share your knowledge with us and share what you're going through right now. Can you give us a quick idea of the percentage of your total portfolio, not dollar amounts or anything, but just how much of that is in Pulsechain versus in the other areas of crypto that you're in?
So I'm about 50% into Pulsechain. So, and that's a lot timing related. So I don't want everyone to think go to Pulsechain and start ripping funds. Please relax. You have to learn. And again, guys, this stuff's going to be around for a long time. Don't FOMO. I mean, I would like if you FOMO'd, if you had all the information, but I don't want you to FOMO. Therefore, your information that you have won't be strong enough in your mind. Therefore, you'll sell. So that's kind of how that works. But anyway, Pulsechain is the premier DEX, but on the Pulse chain up there in the middle. So have you ever heard of the Uniswap protocol?
I know it's something that is not like, it's kind of like Coinbase, except for it's not centralized. Is that right? My understanding of that?
Yep. So we're talking about a decentralized DEX, which is a decentralized exchange. So you're talking about a decentralized, just like we have centralized exchanges, that would be Coinbase. We have decentralized exchanges. One sec.
And Pulsechain is
a decentralized exchange where you can swap. And you have other functions, of course, which we're not going to get into specifics. I'm going to pull up the website here so I don't say some words incorrectly.
So Pulse.
So you can swap your Pulse tokens, which is like an Ethereum. It's just a different name and it's the same function as Ethereum, but the code's a little different. So basically, that's a whole blockchain. That's just like Ethereum. So when I say blockchain, you can just think of Ethereum. Just think of Ethereum. There's Ethereum and there's Pulsechain and there's Bitcoin. Let's talk about Ethereum and Pulsechain. I refer to Ethereum when I'm talking about Pulsechain for the people when they're thinking, because you have to think about these things. So the Pulsechain is the new blockchain that's coming out. It's on a separate blockchain. It does not necessarily connect with Ethereum. You know what I mean? So they're separate entities. And you have to merge these two things with liquidity. You have to have financial mass in there so people can move back and forth, because really what you're doing when you're trading on a decentralized DEX is you're moving the price of certain coins. Do you know what I'm saying? Because all you're doing is buying and selling at the end of the day. So
and
you go from,
if there's no money there, you can't buy or sell.
Exactly. Right? There's no liquidity. I need actual fiat and to get to a centralized, or it doesn't, that's not the blockchain. So you know what I mean? Like, so we're now interacting with a new blockchain and there's a merge. Now, when you make these other decentralized exchanges, all they do is fork other things and fix them. So there's the thing called pancake swap. That would be like a Uniswap. It's a different protocol, same function. On Ethereum, like it's a different protocol, same function for a different blockchain. And we're just doing that here. So this is all learning curve. People are learning, I'm learning. So Pulsechain just had a sacrifice chamber about 17 days long. And it was roughly 3 months ago. That means that for 17 days, Richard Hart allowed you to get in at the bottom floor of a project that hasn't come out yet. So that day's come and gone. Then they have to come out with the merge between both. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me.
You're good.
Show you that. That would be the Pulsechain token. That would be the one with the X there. And that merges the blockchains, which makes the money, legit, switches it over. But real quick, there's fiat on-ramps where Ethereum has all this stuff built with Coinbase. Pulsechain does not. But Richard Hart is way better than all these guys at this stuff. He's going to have fiat on-ramps. That means you can go straight from your USD bank to Pulsechain right away. Boom. We're talking months, dude. We're talking months. We're months away. They launch things before they get all that shit hammered out because they have to launch it. Like at some point you have to launch your product, right? Like you have to launch the product. Like you can't, I could try to make my thumbnail. I could make this thumbnail for another week, or I could send 10 videos on. Like it's that. So he's putting it out there, and then they're building. They're building, all their people are building exchanges. He's building a brand new wallet. So he's going to have a MetaMask that's his, and like not his, but like the protocol he designed. So all of this stuff is getting reinvented by this guy on his own thing. Now he wants all of this. He wants everything on the internet not to be about Ethereum. He wants Ethereum probably deep down just to go away and die. But really, the first thing on the Pulsechain website, I'm going to pull up this Pulse. Can you pull up the Pulsechain website?
Yeah. Okay, so while I'm pulling that up, the Pulse X is a token and a marketplace, or it is?
Yeah. So remember, when we make protocols, we have a token associated with them always. That might not be 100% accurate information, but for the masses and the majority of things, the information is, if you make a protocol, if Richard Hart makes a protocol, why is he doing it? Right? Why is he doing it? They need stake. You can't just make stuff and not sell it. Like, you can't just build on the internet. They have stake in the cryptocurrency. So I'm kind of like learning about how things interact, and I'm still confused about some of that stuff. But basically, it's like, it's just all social consensus at the end of the day. Where are people moving their money? Where is the money going? That is what matters. Social consensus. People are buying Tesla stock that have never looked at a Tesla, never saw a Tesla, never known who Elon Musk is, because number go up really fast. They don't care. Nobody cares why Bitcoin and Satoshi, if he's dead, if he's alive. They're saying, is it going to 3x? Can I put my money in there? They don't care. They don't know. People do not care about this stuff. That's why we're here, Sam. That's why we're here, because people do not care about this stuff, and we're here. So this is all early stuff, and I'm a little confused about how some things interact. But at the end of the day, all of these things have already been done, guys. These are all protocols, and even the worst ones did like 100x's, Sam.
Wow. So you get, and I might have said this a second ago and I missed it. PulseX is a token who are people who are kind of like the people who own the exchange in a decentralized manner.
Well, no, it's like that, but it's just shares. It's just shares. So like there's a certain amount of, so it's more manufactured than you think. Like, it's not naturally occurring. It's more manufactured. So Richard Hart and like crypto people in general are, this is about money, right? Like, I mean, let's be real. So basically, there's a token associated with this, and in general, on other blockchains, it does nothing, and it still goes up 100x in price. Remember, we were talking about Dogecoin the other day? It went up 63,000% in price, better than any legacy finance hedge fund you could find in your entire life, and it's a picture of a dog.
So PulseX, the token, is just going to be like Ethereum.
No, it's going to Pulsechain token is Ethereum. So there's Pulsechain token. That's the whole blockchain. You need Pulsechain token in order to pay fees in Pulsechain. That is Ethereum. In Ethereum, you need Ethereum tokens in order to pay to do anything. It's just less money with Pulsechain, but you still need Pulse token. And if the network grows, everything's going to get exponentially larger. I mean, obviously things cost more over time, but like, we're talking a penny to $200. Like, the growth there is just donkey donk. But I'm just saying, like, all this stuff is Ethereum. It's just a fork with better code. So basically, they took 7 years of knowledge and they said, what did everything that Ethereum did wrong? Let me do it right. And Ethereum can't change because they're too clogged up. So you know how hard it is to fix a system that's being used with code?
Yeah.
Like, you need it to be off the net. That's why they can do this stuff, because they're just starting over. They're just saying, here, I'm going to take all this code and all my devs. Let's sit in a room. Let's look at it. Let's just do our thing. Let's add to it. Let's do the best thing.
Okay. So the exchange is somebody capable of using a decentralized exchange without owning a decentralized token like PulseX?
Yes,
could you?
100%.
So you could use PulseX to switch something. I don't know what that would be. Say if you had BTC and you wanted to buy Hex or something, you could do
100%. 100%.
But you don't. Okay, so what's the value of the token portion?
Hey, another trigger word, another buzzword I want you to remember. This is a buzzword. We're gonna be saying it for a long time. It's gonna be all over the internet. This word in particular, when you look up stuff on YouTube, will be extremely viral. Yield farming. Yield farming. Now we're going to start talking about yield farming. And this isn't really for like normal Joes like me and you as much right now, because it's more about an economic mass. You need more economic mass in order to yield farm effectively, because you're basically, instead of staking, you're deciding to yield farm, which means basically you're like holding up the system. Now I got to look up exactly the definition of yield farming so I don't say it wrong. Yield farming. But basically, it's another way to make imaginary fake money that doesn't matter in social consensus and number go up forever. Like, it's just, again, I'm always going to dumb it down and go there, because the nuts and bolts of all this is they're designing things to appreciate in value on purpose. Like, these are things that are designed to appreciate in value. All of, a percentage of Pulsechain fees are burned.
Yes,
burned forever. And that supply always goes down forever. Like, in 3 years, the supply will be unrecognizable.
That's just going to, like, if you have people involved and that number of people is going to grow, obviously that would impact the price in a positive way. But the people, I think, is the most important piece involved there. Like, the population of users has to be growing.
I'm sorry, I gotta just send one thing.
No, you're good. So the yield farming is an investment strategy in decentralized finance, or DeFi. It involves lending or staking your cryptocurrency coins, tokens, to get rewards in the form of transaction fees or interest. This is something.
That's it. That's what I was forgetting. So yield farmers basically do something, or they own a percentage of something within PulseX, or it's probably just the PulseX token. Whoever owns the most earns the most percentage of fees, but you just happen to earn the fees in a separate token. I'm telling you, this goes down a rabbit hole forever, Sam. This is forever, dude. There's another.
Okay, no, so this makes perfect sense. So basically,
the yield farming token that you get from PulseX, you get another token that is unnamed right at the moment. They're still coming up with the name for it. They're talking about this every day on Twitter, guys. Richard Hart Wynn on Twitter. He talks about every update in the software. Find another CEO that does it. Every single update, every single software, every single live stream, he tells you exactly what his devs are doing.
So this sounds like, from I paid attention to real estate a lot. I really like real estate. And it sounds like there's two pieces here. You've got, like, the people want to invest, right? But then they also need cash to live on. So they're like, oh, what do I do? Like, I can invest all this money, but and I understand it's going to grow in the future. More than likely, obviously, we're not telling people to invest anything, but like, right? But but then how do you live? How do you live on the cash, right? Like, how do you live on the cash? But this Pulse token yield coin is effectively printing you money every month, or however it is done, based upon the collection of all the people who are doing transactions. Because you said we can do transactions to change things, change tokens we have on the exchange without owning the token. There's a small fee associated with that exchange. That fee goes to the Pulse token holders who are holding the yield. They get the percentage of the yield, but that prints in terms of a new token that you can immediately sell without any capital gains, and thus not have any taxes. Is that kind of a paraphrasing?
God, I'm so glad I'm talking to a human that has knowledge and resources in his brain. It's so nice, because you have you can see the other side of some of these concepts, because you're seeing why they do it. Because you have other things that you do. You have other things that you do in your personal life that are similar. It's just a different thing. Like, it's fun. So yeah, I love where you're coming from there, and you're just so right. Like, at the end of the day, they're doing and I want to keep hammering this home. In this community, in this crypto that I found in particular, they're doing everything they possibly can, physically and legally, to make number go up as fast as literally possible, and give the users the most quality experience that they can potentially experience. Because Richard Hart is smart enough. I am smart enough to know that reputation comes first. No one is going to go all in Richard Hart, king of the world, unless he is doing things for the morally right reason, because that stands through all. And people can say whatever they want about Richard and me talking about Richard and like having a perspective on that and the success of Hex. They're directly correlated, but not for the reason that you think. The intentions that he had when he started is a lot of what blossomed this. And you can only have those intentions if you have a certain experience. And I read his book and I happened to watch all his live streams and I just really clicked into it and it all clicked. It's like they're doing everything they can for the user because they want to be famous and popular and powerful because that's the only way.
And most people are not working.
You cannot scam your way into power unless you're in the United States government. Like you cannot in the business world, your reputation is everything. If you tarnish it right now for $1 million, you're giving up everything. If someone said, Scott, right now, would you sell a paid course for $1 million and I give you that money? You only have to work for a couple months, tell all these guys all you know. I'd say absolutely not, because that negates all the funds I have in the future. I already know that. Richard already knows that. People that do paid groups and stupid stuff don't know that. They don't understand value. They don't understand integrity in that way. In my opinion, when selling certain things, not everything for it.
I completely agree about the integrity and where it's coming from as an individual. And I think this is a perfect point to wrap this up because I told my girlfriend we're doing something at 11. But food for thought for anybody who's listening at this point, and also for Scott. The only thing that I see there is that if PulseX is printing another coin, this other coin has to have value, otherwise it's pointless. That's the only thing that I could see as being an issue there. Like this extra coin.
But there's more that I don't know, Sam. There's another 10 pages of information that I don't know that's bullish. Like there's another rabbit hole we can go down about the incentive token. I know it. I just don't know it yet because I've been trying to learn how to stream and stuff. And all the content that's been coming out, I haven't really been digging into it because I just said I'll do that whenever I'm done with this stuff, like at the moment. So I went from a content consumer to a content creator overnight, and literally overnight. And now I realize like I have to dedicate all my time to content creating because I've done the hard end, guys. I promise you, I went the hard route. I didn't do it the easy way. I've gone in every bad relationship, every drug, every bad decision a human can make. I did it. I felt heartbreak 100 times over so bad that I cannot even think about it. But I'm at this point, just grateful. You're on the desk. I'm on the keys every day, happy as a freaking clam. We made it, baby. We're alive. Like we made it through all the hard times, Sam. We could have died a lot. Like we could have died like a lot. Like I went surfing in Nicaragua where there was for weeks where there was no hospitals anywhere near. And I was like, fuck it. Like at the time I was doing drugs and stuff, I didn't care. I was just like, we're doing this. Now I'm like, I can't do that. I have to protect the bag now because I understand I have purpose. I have to protect myself. I have to, because before I was so reckless. Now I'm like, oh my God, I have to protect myself. There's a lot I need to do. I need to be here and help you, and you help me, and we do that for the other people around us. And it's just a forever thing. And starting with me and you right now, the city that you're sitting in right now, more people are going to know about Hex in the next 3 months because we had this conversation. And it doesn't even matter if you go all in because you're just a guy who talks a lot. So you are going to talk about crypto in general. Like you're going to speak of those terms because that's what's good right now in some of the stuff. So it's just like, I know what's coming. I know where you're going. Like, if we never spoke again after this moment, if we never spoke again, I know exactly what you would be doing in a year, roughly. Like, I know where your mind would be focused ish. Like, I don't know if you would be doing this angle of it or that angle of it, or maybe trying to get in on a new project that you maybe like anything.
Yeah.
But correct. You're here. And you can still own Tesla stock too. Like, and guess what? Roth IRA, you can put all this shit back and forth, buddy. Like, don't think that these possibilities don't keep rolling up. I can go to my financial advisor and get Hicks and get my Roth IRA self-custody. I learned this. I've just learned all this. I'm learning. And self-custody. And then instead of nuking my account because I have some dumb, she's a nice lady, but like, just because I have somebody that doesn't have the information that I have running my account, I was going to nuke the whole thing. I was like, I'm going to nuke this and just get the cash and move. And then they were like, hold up a second. I talked to this guy from Brazil. He said, hold up just a quick second, because I was tweeting about this. He said, why don't you give me a ring real quick? Just like that, old man from Brazil, hooking your boy up, told me self-custody, gave me all the information. I said, this is the greatest. Like, I love finance.
So did you set that up? We can do a separate video on that, but did you set that up?
No, not yet, because I've been working on the loan.
Okay, so we'll talk about that in a future video. That's a perfect,
because I have a Roth IRA with a good amount of money in it, in an account with my lady still. It seems like she's done a great job, to be honest. But I just want self-custody because, again, moving forward in my life, I am my own bank. I am my own security. I have to say these things over and over. I am my own security. I am my own bank. I am customer service. I am responsible.
Do you also value like not having other people kind of like seeing what you're doing potentially and something?
Well, now I know, because you can get your ass hacked and put a dildo up your ass so far that without you knowing. So Sam, you have no choice.
It may potentially, just hypothetically, instead of doing self-directed, you think about it, it may be more beneficial to just pay the 10% and pay the taxes if you're only, depending if it's a Roth or a traditional. Take that money so you have 100% control in it.
Tell me how. Tell me how much. How much the rate
in terms of
getting it, the penalties.
Okay, so it's generally speaking, you're gonna pay 10% for early withdrawal, and then
that's fine.
If it's a traditional or a Roth,
the
Roth. So I think you're probably just gonna have to pay the capital gains on the progress you've made. So if you had 100 grand in there and now it's 150, like you put in 100, now it's 150, you're gonna have tax on the $50,000 plus the 10% penalty. Which
is really worth it. But when you say it like that, you
get control.
When you say it like that, it's true, because I'm learning at such a pace that another human couldn't in the financial industry, wouldn't be in the position. And I always try to round my statements by saying it's not because I'm special. Like, I always try to round out my statements, because people think when I say certain things, no, I'm 28 years old. I pay no bills. I don't drink alcohol. I sit at my computer as much as I possibly can. So it's not because I'm some fucking freak genius. I just am addicted to looking up stuff. And I'm very interested, and I'm a curious person. And now I'm starting to learn curiosity is about the most important character trait a human can have, because that closed-mindedness shuts you down so young. So young. These guys get married when they're 23, and it's like gone. Like, their whole energy, testosterone vibe, any bit of that is just put in the hole, and they're like, oh my God. And then, but that's just, some people like that too. So I have to accept of that too.
And there's varying degrees, but we'll talk about that more in
Dude, Sam, you guys, if you're still watching this at this point, you're first of all an animal. Second of all, GymRatCrypto, interact with me, please. Message me. I'm going to be all over the internet. Let's get it.
Yes, thank you, sir.